From Journey with VRD, you're listening to the Visions, Missions, and Manifestations podcast, the number one place for spirituality, healing, and transcendence. I'm your host, Vivian-Raquel Dayan. Now let's get into it. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Visions, Missions, and Manifestations podcast brought to you by Journey with VRD. It's so good to be doing this episode today because this episode is going to be a lot different than the previous episodes. I'm really excited because I've been wanting to do this for so long and I'm finally getting around to it. Today, I'm going to get deep and dive straight into some of your most asked questions. These are the questions that you guys hit me up with through Instagram, DM, and of course, the WhatsApp community chat, which I love, and I know you guys love it too, because we get to connect, get deep, get personal in real time. So without further ado, I'm just going to read off the list that you guys sent through. So the first question that I get the most is, what is manifestation and can anybody manifest? Like, if I'm depressed, can I manifest? All those type of questions. So what is manifestation? Manifestation is when you have a vision, you have a dream, you have a goal, you have a mission, and you can see it so clearly, and you take the aligned action to make it happen. What does that mean? Let's break that down even more. It means you have this vision, you want something you don't have. And it can feel scary. It can feel so out of reach. It could feel like, how am I ever going to get this? But you take that fear, you put it in the back seat, and you decide to go for it anyway, step by step, one foot in front of the other. And then through the aligned actions, raising your self-worth, right? Your idea of deserving this thing, you actually raise your frequency, your vibration, right? Raising your vibration just means raising your self-worth. And you go after the thing and you open up, you make space for that thing, for that dream, for that vision to come through. So really simply, manifesting is having an idea, seeing it clearly, not focusing on the how, putting the fear in the backseat and choosing yourself, choosing your success, regardless if anybody else does, and going after that damn thing. When you do that, you open up to receiving it. When you do that, you open up to living that reality. So, can anybody do it? So the thing with manifestation and manifesting is that you're constantly manifesting regardless of whether or not you're aware of it. We manifest based off who we are, based off our identity. And our identity is an accumulation of our beliefs, which means based off what we believe, we embody those beliefs and we project them out into the world. The best part is that we're human beings and we're evolving all the time and we get to choose who we are. And so whenever we want something that we don't have, we get to choose our beliefs, show up differently in the world, and therefore manifest the things that that version of us has. So if we are just living on autopilot, and we're wondering, why don't I have the boyfriend? Why don't I have the money, the career, the home, the things, whatever? It's because right now, how you're showing up for the world is in opposition to what you're calling in. Very clear example is of the person who is calling in that long-term romantic relationship, but then continues to have hookups with people they would never actually be with, who continues to have one-night stands just to pass the time. What I always tell people is that the universe, God, two different things, they don't speak a spoken language. If they did, how would they understand me in America versus somebody else in another country speaking a different language? Instead, the universe responds to action. So you're not ever judged by your thoughts. You're not ever punished by your feelings. You are actually only being responded to by your actions. So if you're having one night stands, regardless of whether or not you want to be in a long-term relationship, the universe is going to say, oh, she still wants one night stands, or she still wants hookups or relationships that don't last. If you want the thing, you got to embody the thing. So if you want the relationship, you ask yourself, how would the me in the relationship I want be showing up? And as you take on those habits, as you take on those beliefs, those thoughts, that mindset, you actually become a direct link, a direct match, a direct magnet for the relationship that you want. So anybody can manifest. We're constantly manifesting based off who we are. So if you don't like something in your outside world, as Amanda Blair said on the past podcast in a different episode earlier, you don't change something on the outside, you actually change something internally. And that is a belief, that is a thought system, that is a perspective shift. So yes, anybody can manifest. We're constantly manifesting based off who we are. And if we don't have something that we want, it's because our actions aren't in alignment with the thing we're calling in. They're not matching. It's not making sense. It's not communicating, right? It's like a different example of manifesting and it not working. If you're like, why isn't my manifestation coming through? Well, what you focus on, right, is always what you end up manifesting, because what you focus on, you become. The more you surround yourself with a certain thought or a certain thing, the more you mesh with it. And so if you're always saying like, oh, things don't work out for me, what happens is you embody that thing. You embody that belief that nothing works out for you, and you end up always showing up in a place where things aren't going to align. So really take note of the words that you speak to yourself, because you become those things. Just like when we say nice things to plants, they grow beautifully and strong and tall and healthy. So too, the way we think of ourselves and the way we speak to ourselves changes the way we show up, changes the way the world reacts to us. The world, everything that you see is an exact reflection of what's going on inside of you, how you see yourself in your life. So again, if you don't like something in your outside world, we don't go ahead and try to change things in the outside world, right? We can't control other people. What we can do is change something internally. And when we change and shift and recalibrate something within us, the world, the universe, God shifts everything on the outside realm as well. And it mirrors that back to us. So the next question that I get all the time is, how do you manifest? So, okay, we just covered what is manifestation, right? Manifestation, really simply, having this vision and taking the aligned action towards it, putting the fear in the back end and just trusting the process without getting caught up in the how. The how is not our job. We have so many jobs. The how is just not one. The how, the moment we think about the how, is a moment we disconnect the Wi-Fi, the connection between us and the thing we're calling in. So manifesting is really just trusting in the vision, believing it so much, embodying it until we become it. How do you manifest? So Journey with VRD, has 5 steps, 5 dimensions to your ascension, to your next level. And this is what it is. You can apply these steps to anything in your life, and you will manifest it. If you apply these 5 steps, anything that you're currently calling in, anything you're currently wanting, anything you're currently manifesting will come through. So the first step is getting crystal clear, right? If we don't know where we want to go, we're going nowhere. And the example that I like to give, imagine you're starving. You're so hungry. You've been wanting food all day, right? You've been wanting this manifestation for a goddamn while. So you go to a restaurant because that's where you get food. And the waitress comes and just says, hi, can I please take your order? And you're like, yes, just give me food. I'm starving. She goes, okay, but what do you want? You're like, food. I just want food, right? Sometimes we just want a relationship. We're like, just give me a relationship. The waitress says, okay, let me go to the back. Let me see what I could do. She brings you out a pizza, but you're gluten-free. You can't eat that pizza. You're like, why do you get me a pizza? I'm starving. And she said, you told me to get anything. So I went to go get a pizza. Thought that was like an easy one. And you're like, no, I can't eat that. Can you just get me something else? It's like, so the universe gives you this guy or this girl and they're just like so not your type. You're like, I wouldn't date this person. right? Somebody new comes into your life, you're like, what? No, not for me. We don't even share the same values. So the waitress goes back and she comes back to you with ice cream, but you are lactose intolerant. And you're like, I can't eat this. I'm lactose intolerant. And the waitress is just like, listen, I'm here. I want to give you what you want. I want to give you the food that floats your boat, tickles your peach, fills that void. But you got to help me out here because everything I'm giving you, you're just like, no, no, no. And that's what I mean about getting crystal clear. It's great to know you want a relationship. It's great to know that you want to raise. It's great to know you want to start a business. It's great to know that you want to improve your health. But what does that look like for you specifically? Like, I don't need to know what color it is. No, I'm not saying I need to know how it walks, but what I do need to know, right? Does it have a strut? Does it not? What I do need to know is, what are the values that you want to share with this person? Do you even want to, is that important to you? Is there a certain religion you want this person to have? Do you want them to be monogamous? Is that important to you? What is important to you? What are your non-negotiables? What are your requirements? Do you want a sense of freedom in this new job, right? And that's when we say, get crystal clear. The second step is taking inventory. Take inventory. You're not a baby. You're not starting from nowhere. There are things in your life that you're currently doing that are actually working for you, in your favor, in your benefit, and for your success. So take a breather right now, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Things are already working out for you. And in step 2, we take inventory. What's working? What's not working? What are you saying yes to that you wish you were saying no to? Let's clear that out. Let's create space. Let's create space so more of what brings us joy and happiness and love and freedom, bliss could come through. And then we get to step 3, which is the purge. The purge. So the purge is when we stop doing the things that we don't want to be doing. When we shift out of the friend group that really keeps us in that glass ceiling, in that box. We start to say no to the things we don't want, right? Step 2 is just taking inventory, being the observer. Step 3 is like the purge, purging out what doesn't belong, throwing out all the shit, all the things of the past that's just holding you back. We're letting go of the bricks, putting down the backpack. And then we go into step 4, where we take on the new habits. We take on the habits of the version of ourselves who already has what we want. How does that self look? How does she or he walk? How does she or he talk? What filters do they have on their ears? Are there certain things that they don't listen to, like gossip? Is there certain music taste that they have? Maybe they walk with more confidence. What voice do they use? Is their voice shaky? Is it confident? How do they dress? How do they show up in moments of things just not working out? Like when you're on the phone with customer service and they're just not answering and you're getting so irritable and frustrated. How does a self that has what you currently want, how does that person answer the phone? How does that person deal with like hard people, right? And show up that way, raise your vibration, literally go from where you are now to where you want to be by embodying it, becoming that self. And then you get into the 5th realm, the 5th level, the 5th dimension of this all, of your ascension, of your next level, which is the manifestation, where we work, me and my clients, on the daily practice so that you don't experience imposter syndrome. So you're not like, this life isn't mine, right? So that you feel worthy and deserving of the new level that you're at with this new reality of your dreams. And of course, this was a really quick glimpse of the 5 dimensions. We go through this a lot more in session, really deeply and personally, and we move through different exercises so that you come out as a futuristic human, the self that has everything you wanted when you came to me. But yeah, that's how you manifest. That's how you manifest. Hey there, it's Vivian, and I'm briefly interrupting this episode because I'm so excited to share that if this episode is lighting you up, then I know that us working together in my new one-on-one packages is going to be the thing that you forever utilize as the resource, power tool, and hands-on experience for your manifestation practice. I'm so excited that I've opened this up, and I have about 2 to 3 spots left right now for June and July, and I'm going to link how to sign up and apply in the show notes. You can also send me a DM on Instagram at Journey with VRD, because I want to make sure that this is a hell yes fit for you. But the type of people that I typically work with are like people who are ready to manifest more abundance, success, fulfillment, and love in their lives. And right now I have space for 3 people in my 3-month packages. I also have a really fun new way to start working with me in person. So reach out if this is something that you're interested in. You can DM me. You can go on the website at journeywithvrd.com. Okay, great. Now back to the episode. So the next question, I know that was a lot. I know that was a lot to digest. The next question, how does a quantum field resonate with past lives? And the question, by the way, okay, actually, the next question was, how is the fifth dimension different from the quantum field? Great question. The fifth dimension is a mindset. It's a mindset that puts you into the flow, the dance with the universe. What does that mean? Okay. In the fifth dimension, we move away from a linear path, right? Like in the fifth dimension, we're no longer thinking if you get straight A's in school, you could go to a great college, meet a great partner, get married to a great person, have a white picket fence, a golden retriever, and the perfect family. In the fifth dimension, anything goes. Every single possibility is possible. In the fifth dimension, you could drop out of high school and become a multimillionaire, a billionaire. In the fifth dimension, things don't string, like this has to happen in order for this to happen, for that to happen. It's just the realm of possibility. Anything can happen. And in the fifth dimension, you are in this place of wonder. You're never like, that can't happen. It's, I wonder what can happen. It's never like, I hate that. It's like, I wonder what's going on with this and how this is happening for my benefit. In the fifth dimension, you understand, you realize that every single thing, every single goddamn thing in this universe is happening for you, not to you, for you. Everything is happening for your success, for your benefit. And once you realize that, once you're like, oh my God, even the things that I used to think were the worst things, when you realize that they are the best things, your greatest gifts, taking you to your next level, your next vision, your next version of self, your next ascension, you actually gain the gifts much quicker. You actually do the dance of life in a way where it feels easy and in flow. It's a lot of fun. Life becomes fun. You play, you dance with this game of life in the fifth dimension. So it's very much a mindset. And I would even argue it's more than once you get to that mindset, the fifth dimension becomes a state of being. So it's more than a mindset, but the mindset is the first step. It's this place of ultimate forgiveness. It's a place of, we're human, we're going to judge people sometimes, but like catching ourselves in those moments and just being like compassionate, knowing that we're all on this journey, growing and learning at our own pace. And it's a place of flow. It's a place of when you start believing that everything's happening for you, for your success, you're just always in the right place at the right time. And things just start working out for you on such a higher level. And then the quantum field is completely different. So whereas the fifth dimension is a state of being, it's a mindset, the quantum field is actually an energetic realm where everything exists. So like the fifth dimension is every possibility is possible. All those possibilities are actually kept in the quantum field. So the quantum field is where every single version of you exists. If you could think it, it can happen. If you can envision it, it must be so. So we had Maureen St. Germain on this podcast, which was so fun. Go listen to that episode. She is the goddess of the fifth dimension of the quantum field. And she has a great book out, Waking Up to the 5D. But the quantum field, she uses this example of like, you go to the ice cream store and you're like, I think I'm going to get the chocolate ice cream, but you're wearing a white dress. And so you're like, you know what? I'm not going to get the chocolate ice cream because what if it spills? In that very moment, a version of you was created that actually chose the chocolate ice cream. Another version of you got that chocolate ice cream and spilt it on your dress. And then in the scenario, let's say you're like, you know what? I'll get the strawberry. There's a version of you that got the strawberry. And at the very end, let's say you got the vanilla, you got the vanilla. But in making that decision, so many different yous made the alternate decisions. So the quantum field is just this place where every single version of you exists. And we use the quantum field in manifestation when we think of the version of ourselves who has what we want. We connect with that self, which means that everything that you want right now, there's a version of you who already has it. And to get it in the physical reality in which we're living in right now, in this 3D reality, we connect with the version of ourselves who has it by closing our eyes, getting into a guided meditation. I do this with most of my clients. It's the most powerful thing because when we connect the Wi-Fi with the version of ourselves who already has this thing, all we have to do is become her. And we get to connect with her and we get to ask her or him, hey, what do we do to get there? Like we get to learn from our highest self. So really important in the manifestation world. Okay, so how does the quantum field resonate with past lives? Okay, so it's in order to answer that question, I'll have to answer whether or not I believe in past lives. So the way that I view things is that everything is happening all at once. So I don't believe in a past, a present, or a future. I believe it's just a way I believe time and the way we see time, we created for the purposes of having order in the world. And it's a way of us to make sense of things. And actually, time is a very non-fifth dimensional thing. In the fifth dimension, we don't have time. And it's a whole nother topic. But so to believe in past lives, I'd have to believe in the past. I believe everything's happening all at once. I believe that our consciousness is what keeps us grounded in a certain timeline. And so, with that being said, do I believe we live multiple lives at once? Yes. Do I believe we're in many places at once? Yes. I believe that our consciousness is what's holding us down. Okay, but definitely more of that in another episode because that is a really interesting question that I could get really passionate about. Okay. What's the mission of Journey with VRD? Like, what is Journey with VRD? Okay, that's a great question. So, Journey with VRD is actually a mission. It is a vision, but it's also a mission to wake up as many people as possible to what is possible for them. So, the reason why I created Journey with VRD is because I always had these big dreams and goals that I didn't know why nobody around me were doing. And it was because people would be like, oh, it's just not possible. Oh, people will think you're weird or judge you. And it's like the mission of Journey with VRD is to be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. If you can imagine it, it can happen. Imagine, happen. All you have to do is take the action. The vision of Journey with VRD is to create the futuristic human where the limits that normally hold us back, the limits that hold back most of society today don't exist. If there's something that you want for the greater good, if there's something that you want to accomplish in life, to take the aligned action, to dream it up and put one foot in front of the other, have fear sit in the back seat, have fear become the motivator, be the gift that rises you up. And the mission of Journey with VRD is to teach as many people as we possibly can how to turn their vision boards, their dreams into their actual physical 3D reality that they're living. That doesn't mean that we want everybody to be the most deep person in the world that has to have the most spiritual, pure conversations. That's not what it means. It means that, hey, you don't have to live and suffer. You don't have to live in torment. Instead, you could choose differently. Instead, you could become the person that you envision. You could have the freedom. You can have the love. You can have the meaning and the purpose that you crave. You can have it all, actually. You can 100% have it all. To quote Regan Hillier, it's possible. You can be her. You can be him, right? Get crystal clear on what that you looks like and move through the 5 dimensions of ascension of your next level. So the goal of Journey with VRD is to get as many people living their best lives as possible, because enough with the suffering, enough with the complaining. You don't like your life? There's been times I didn't like my life. And guess what? I was like, why am I punishing myself? Why am I staying in this rut? Why am I staying in this story, in this loop? Like, why am I staying at this job that I really don't like? Why am I coming here every day angry? Why am I living my life in regret and resentment? No, I'm not going to do this another day. Let's shake shit up, right? And yeah, it was scary. It was scary. And when I decided that, you know what? This is so comfortable. I'm just going to do the job. Guess what? The universe is like, haha, Vivian, like you already know that like you have the power to change your life. So we're actually not going to let you be here. And what happens is the rug gets pulled up under your feet. And I got fired from that job that day that I had this realization on my walk there. And it's because when you are connected to the game never lets you lose. You just got to, even though it sometimes, like, right, getting fired could feel so scary, you have to remember that everything is happening for your benefit, for your success. And when you realize that, you're like, hey, wait a second. When I got fired, actually, I started Journey with VRD, and I wouldn't have done that if I didn't get fired. And the quicker we find the hindsight in something that doesn't feel good, the happier we are. And the happier we are, the higher our vibration is. When we're in a good mood, we actually tend to believe in ourselves more. Shocking, I know. And when we believe in ourselves more, we actually do that riskier thing. We risk to succeed. And sometimes it works out for us. And when it doesn't, it reroutes us. So, right? Rejection is protection, right? Rejection is redirection. Okay, yeah. The mission of Journey with VRD is a futuristic human, and the futuristic human is one that isn't limited by the glass ceiling that society puts on them. What's something you're working on changing about how life is lived? That's a great question. And I guess living way more intentionally, like not just saying yes to say yes, but saying no to what doesn't feel good. Not letting people dictate the lives that we have, and instead really being intentional about the lives that we have. Okay, next question. What's your sixth sense or spiritual superpower? So I feel like I have a lot, but the main one is vision. So as many of you guys know, I actually was born not seeing. And so I really gained inner vision at a very young age. Always being able to see the unseen. Think about like reading in between the lines. Like when people talk, sometimes I'll see what they're saying really crystal clear. And then I'll like bring up a detail and they'll be like, oh, how'd you know that? I'm like, well, because you said that, and I just saw it. So yeah, inner vision, seeing in between the lines. Okay. Next cue. And then I'm going to tell you guys something real fun, break it up with a real cool message, and then we'll continue. So, what is unconditional confidence and how do you get it? You talk about it a lot. Oh, I love this question. Thank you. So, unconditional confidence is when you are so in love with yourself. Like you really love yourself, you believe in yourself, that your relationship with self is so strong that nothing outside of you can shake you, can bring you down. You are unfuckwithable. It's when you like treat yourself so well, so respectfully. You're so loyal to your vision, to your mission, and to who you are that regardless of anything outside of you, regardless of how somebody treats you, regardless of who or what is in your life, your status with self doesn't change. No one can bring you down. Nothing can make you cry if you don't want to. You're very much in tune with self. And that's not to mean that you're a superhuman. It means that you're super good at being human. It means that you're in the fifth dimension where you know everything is working out for you because you're doing the work. You're putting in that effort to just be your highest self. And then how do you get it is by really working on your relationship with self, which is what I help my clients do, which is why in the fifth realm of getting that manifestation, right? The fifth step of the five dimensions, actually having that manifestation, your manifestation doesn't slip away because you're so unconditionally confident with it. It becomes a no-brainer. A great way to explain this is like somebody who's making like a 60K salary and has been making it forever won't ever, it would take a lot for them to take a new job for 50K or 40K or 30K to lower it, right? But once that 60K person moves into the 70K realm, their what they tolerate raises too. I know I deserve this role and it's mine, and nothing or no one could change the way I feel about that. Could change about the way I feel about myself and how I show up for that role. So that is unconditional confidence. So I quickly want to interrupt this episode. Haha. Hey there, it's Vivian, and I'm briefly interrupting this episode because I'm so excited that this summer on the Jersey Shore, I'll be doing 4 to 5 in-person intention setting workshops on the beach on Saturdays. Think no pen, no paper, no electronics. Just you and your beach towel, setting your daily intention with groundedness, stability, and manifestation magnetism, all in the sun and the salty air. The first one will be Sunday, June 16th at 9:30 a.m. on Pullman Beach. Get ready to manifest in a quick 45 minutes, setting your intention, a little bit of guided meditation, and just some easy, quick breath work to just raise you higher. I just feel like the summer, especially Saturdays, we can feel so discombobulated, so chaotic. We feel like we have to be somewhere and the FOMO shows up. And so this is a great way to just sit on the beach, get grounded, find that stability, get centered, and really just come back to self and set your intention, reclaim your power, and you decide how you want your weekend to go. You decide what gets to pour into your reality. So I'm really looking forward to this, and I hope to see many of you guys there in the beach, in the sun, manifesting. All right, now back to the episode. All right. So the next question is, what lifestyle changes did you have to make in order to become Journey with VRD and sustain it? This is a great question. Great question. Because I could get really molecular with this, like really tell you in detail what I changed, but a lot of it was what I said yes to. So it was creating boundaries heavily, right? Like really creating boundaries. And trust me, when you create boundaries, it is not easy because the people who you've been closest with will feel the most hurt. And it won't look like they're not going to come up to you and be like, I feel hurt, right? Instead, they're like, wait, things that you let us get away with for so long, you're not allowing us to anymore. And so they get angry at you. They tell you you're changing. They're telling you you're different now. And it could feel lonely. A lot of people on their manifestation journey feel lonely because the people that used to feel the closest are actually the people that you shift and recalibrate from. You end up later on having new friends, people that feel more aligned for you. So, boundaries and really implementing my boundaries and not allowing people to impede on them. Um, So that was a huge one. Another one, like really saying no to places I didn't want to be. That was a huge one. Always feeling like I had to be at certain places, but like then realizing like why I don't even like being there. It doesn't make me feel good. Not gonna go. That was a huge boundary. Boundaries with my parents, boundaries with my family, and my best friends. So a lifestyle change I made was a commitment to journey with VRD and to myself. I had this vision, which I'm living out, and committing to it, making the decision and never looking back, going all in. What are your top three pieces of advice to anyone who wants to manifest quickly? Ooh, good question. To manifest quickly, the first one is boundaries, huh? Boundaries, confidence, accepting the natural flow of evolution, and letting go of resistance. Letting go of the resistance. Like, I feel like a lot of times we're so scared of change, but we don't realize is that the change is actually the manifestation that we've been calling in. The quickest way to manifest is to get out of your own way. Get out of your way. This is what you want. It feels scary because it's new. It feels scary because it's uncomfortable. You feel the fear because you're not used to it. But fear isn't always a bad thing. The unknown, being in that place of the in between, even though we don't know where we are, if we hold the vision, we keep the vision, and we keep taking steps in that direction, we will be where we want to be. And what I like to say is like, it's like choosing to use the GPS or not. When we get out of our own way and just trust the process, that's like when we put the manifestation, the exact address into the GPS. We follow the GPS, we trust it, we move forward, and we'll get there. If we start questioning ourselves, if we start questioning the process, the how, and we start getting in our own way, what happens is we take the long way there. We stop on detours. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? We might have these experiences that we wouldn't have had otherwise, right? We might have experiences that we didn't even know we wanted, but it'll just take us a really long time to get to the place we originally asked to be. So that's one, getting crystal clear. The second, boundary setting. And the third would be hanging around people who not only believe in you and celebrate you, but do the same for themselves. People who really believe in their vision and really celebrate themselves, because you are an accumulation of the 5 to 8 people that you speak with and you hang around with the most. And so if you don't like what you see, change what you're seeing, change who you're being. And like attracts like, right? Which means that if you're attracting a certain thing and you don't like it, shift how you are showing up to the world and you'll attract something differently. Who is your ideal client? Somebody who is ready to commit to themselves, somebody who it doesn't matter where you are in life, whether you feel so far away from your manifestation or just so close and just need somebody to alchemize the littlest thing for you to just get the thing that you were calling in. But my ideal client is somebody who's ready to have it all. Like they know it's possible for them and they just need some direction. That's my ideal client. Can you manifest feelings or only physical things? So yes, you can manifest feelings. And when we manifest a feeling, the physical things that bring us that feeling manifest as well, which is pretty cool. All right. So those were some of the most asked questions. I'm sure there are so many more that I didn't answer. These are the ones that I wrote down. But yes, this was so much fun. I love doing a Q&A because it's a way for us to connect, I feel like, on a different level. And you guys get to hear about so many more things that's going on in the manifestation and energetic realm. One last question that I have here that I totally forgot to answer is, what are 3 things that you are currently manifesting? That's a fun question. One of them would be a larger apartment or a larger home. The second would be taking Journey with Vera D to the next level, which means finishing to write my book. So exciting. And continuing the podcast, getting really awesome people on here, and help waking up the species, helping more and more people live the lives that they feel like they can only dream of. All right. Well, this has been awesome. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. And I can't wait to be with you guys on the next episode next week. See you then. Bye. Hey, if you like this podcast episode, please download it, give us a nice review, and follow us on Instagram at Journey with VRD to get all the latest and the greatest updates. Till next week.